Janice.
Hello, I couldn't get my video started for a moment there. Yeah.
How are your eyes? Are they okay?
They didn't dilate them after all. They just used this camera thing. And she said, actually, for someone who's had diabetes, as long as I have, my eyes are in excellent shape.
Oh, that is good news.
Yeah. So I didn't have to go around with dilated pupils all afternoon.
Thank goodness. That's, I mean, plus it was a beautiful, bright, sunny day.
It was, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if this is business or, so I was reading the minutes, and it talks about the foot clinic.
Yep.
And how you and Susan Gomberg were going to draft something for the announcement and the newsletter. It says it will note that the announcement also made clear that the subsidies will continue through April. And it doesn't say that in the article. I don't think it matters. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I thought about that too.
Yeah, okay.
Excuse me.
I mentioned it.
Hi, Joanne.
Hello. Hello.
I think Susan's here.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Susan.
Janice.
Hello. I don't know if you heard that Susan Millinger may be delayed, so I'm supposed to start taking the minutes if she doesn't make it here in time.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like she hasn't.
Not yet. Shall we, do you want to, since it's 5:30, shall we go ahead? Knowing that Susan will come when she can.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Are we good with that? Okay.
Okay, so it's 5:30 exactly.
Yep. So we'll call ourselves to order. And so maybe should we wait on the minutes from the 13th, or shall we go ahead with Susan Millinger's latest draft?
I think it would make sense to wait for her.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we're supposed to, according to the last minutes, we're supposed to take an attendance by calling the roll.
It's true. So Linda Ava Scott here.
Yep. Joanne Bernhardt here.
Janice Gray here.
Susan Gomberg here.
Thanks for the reminder, Janice.
Because I have them right here in front of me. So let's see what we did last time.
So the next item on the agenda is foot clinic update.
The only thing I have from Foot Clinic is we have one new Foot Clinic member. So that's nice. We didn't get inundated with hundreds, but we did get one. And hopefully she will have a good appointment and then join our schedule as it goes by.
Good.
So that's all I have. I've heard from nobody else.
Mm-hmm. How is the situation resolved with the client from Amherst?
I did call her. We had a pleasant conversation, and she understands that she is no longer part of the Shutesbury group. I did give her the info about Amherst, and as far as I know, I don't know what she has done since then, but she is no longer part of our body.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And I can say that in January, we reimbursed for 3 folks, one at $60, one at $40, and one at $30 for a total of $130. So those were our reimbursements for January.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Susan G.
Oh, you're welcome.
Next, we have a financial update, and I just want to say that earlier this week, Susan Millinger sent me the motion from our last meeting regarding the $500 annual contribution to Village Neighbors. So I'll be submitting that for the next warrant. So that's, going to be in process.
Mhm.
And
I hate to say this, I was still catching up on the numbers for the
Oh.
reimbursements.
sure,
So the financial update is you got something from somebody to submit. What was it?
so at our last meeting, we voted to contribute $500
Right.
to Village Neighbors.
You got
And
something from somebody that
earlier this, here's Susan.
Oh.
Hang on for a second. I'm just going to admit her. Earlier this week, Susan Millinger sent me the motion. So I can now process what we call the warrant or
Okay.
request for the $500. Yeah. Hi, Susan.
Hello, Susan.
Sorry.
It's okay.
How's everybody? I'm sorry I'm late.
Not that late.
No, 5 minutes. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
I was scribbling, so that's why I'm not saying much.
Well, you're being a good secretary.
Not
Want me to take over at
particularly.
this point?
We did not do the minutes yet. We
Okay,
bounced them so that you could have a chance to be here.
okay.
How about if I just finish
Okay,
the
yeah.
financial update quickly and then we can go back to the minutes?
Okay.
So this, between our last meeting and tonight, we expended $275 on the Saturday strength training classes for January. In addition to the $130 for foot care, subsidies. So that leaves us with a balance of $1,087.03 in our grant account at this point. No news from Becky regarding the contract from the state with the the grant document that the select board will sign. So I can tell you that. I can also tell you that the governor's FY22 budget proposes a reduction from $12 per person to $9 per person for seniors, for those, those council on aging in larger towns and cities that are reimbursed per person. We're too small for that, but we don't know what that means dollar-wise. So that's my update.
So Janice, I'm happy to take over at any point.
What are we doing next?
Well, I've
How
got
to
the,
be prepared in the minutes. And
Well, yeah, let's go back to the minutes so we can.
I just looking to see what's coming up and how hard it's going to be.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So as far as just to follow up, so that $12 to $9 change does not directly affect us, but it sounded like you thought it might somehow.
Well, we don't know, right, Joanne?
I've seen the spreadsheet that they sent around, and there were, $12, 11, 10, 9. It looks like we're in the group of the smallest COAs, and it looks like that amount of 6,000 will remain steady. And the others that
Okay.
have greater membership will be reduced. So I don't know at what point the cutoff point is. It probably hasn't really been determined yet. but it didn't look like we would be affected.
Mhm.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that last week.
Right, that's
last
what I was
meeting,
wondering.
yeah,
Joanne.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's hope it stays that way.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I suppose the idea is these larger towns have so many seniors that there's a lot of money to pay for programs,
Mhm.
even with reduced per head.
Right,
Hmm.
right. That and they may be getting more support from their towns,
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
you know,
That's true.
And
because so many of them actually have senior centers. They have buildings and staff and things like that. So,
yeah.
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 And as an aside, it's one note that I saw in the MCOA document about this was that there, with the census, there'll be most likely an increased number of seniors, so that it may not,
Oh, interesting.
it may balance, may balance out somehow, because there'll be more people even at $9. So anyway, it won't affect us
No.
according to
That was the
Joanne,
point.
so fingers crossed.
yeah.
Okay, so the minutes,
Having read the minutes that Susan sent that were amended, I can say that I totally support receiving them as they were in the, is that your second draft, Susan?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone have any additions or edits?
I don't.
Not
Gomberg.
not I, says Janice. No.
Okay. So then I move that we accept the minutes from Susan Millinger as they are presented in her second draft.
Is there a second?
I second Gomberg.
Okay, roll call vote. Bernhardt, aye.
Ray, I.
Gomberg, aye.
Millinger, aye.
and Scott, I.
Thank you all.
Oh, thank you, Susan, for your really good minutes. So
Well, I appreciate the editing help.
over to you, Joanne.
Okay, well, I did send around the latest iteration of this how to be prepared for a medical emergency. And I would appreciate feedback and edits and any comments that people have, thoughts people have. I think at the current time, we don't quite know what to do with this document, but that may come up later as we discuss Village Neighbors proposal. Did people read it?
Yes,
Yeah,
Janice read it.
Yep.
looks good to me.
I thought it was fine.
I had a question that there was another thing that Linda and I discussed that we deleted, which was a technical issue about storing things on a computer. But the last one, I was not sure if that was a good idea or not.
The
Linda,
financial details?
no, passwords.
It's in
Oh,
red at the
password.
bottom.
Yeah, that was a question.
Well,
Somebody has to know that.
you
Yeah.
could qualify it. You could say, you might consider, if you feel so comfortable, you might want to include your passwords for blah, blah, it's kind of up to the reader to decide what they want to do with this stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree that it is important to include in your safe place, metal file box, etc., your passwords, because obviously if someone needs to assist you, they're going to need this information to do so. What Joanne and I talked about was that that we didn't want to encourage anybody to be sending this kind of information by email to their family. So, you know, as long as it's in the category of these are things to keep in your safe place, I feel comfortable with it. But also taking in mind Janice's suggestion, if you are comfortable recording this information.
Okay, is that, should that be the wording?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just yeah, I don't know what everybody else thinks or has experience with. I just know mine.
Mhm. When I was the agent for my parents, there was no such thing as passwords. They didn't do Wi-Fi. They didn't have cell phones. Their bank information was in a file, so it wasn't an issue. So, but I know it would be now. Now that things are mostly online. Okay, so should we say if you feel comfortable, or if, how should we phrase this? Come on, you writer ladies.
I wonder what the legal profession thinks about making passwords available to the person who's going to be taking over for you.
Well, if you have power, if someone has power of attorney, that person should have access to this.
Right. I'm just wondering if the legal profession, didn't say this very clearly, has suggestions about how to leave them in a secure manner.
I mean, if you to me, the important thing is not putting them on, you know, on your computer in an unlocked document.
Right.
Or sending them in an email with an attached document.
Right.
So writing them down and putting them with your other pertinent information. I mean, you would have to, because so many of our bills, etc., are paid online, and we need passwords. And if we need someone to do that for us, they have to have that information.
They do. One safe place is a safe deposit box.
Yep. Yep. Or, you know, if you put your information in a safe place, you know, in your home, or, you know, wherever you put it in your home, and only your person knows where it is, then, you know.
Yeah, I guess I have a little bit of a worry. I mean, I do have a password book in which I keep my passwords at home.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
house is sufficiently messy that it would be really hard for somebody to find it. But potentially some vulnerable old person who has people going in and out, you know, it might not be a good idea for them to have their safe place at home.
Right. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's,
Well, we could add to the first line of keep your documents in a safe place. We could also say a safe deposit box.
Yes, I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
but you have to remember to give them.
They need a key.
Yeah, you have to be able to, yes, but you know, you could give the key to the person ahead of time. You get a couple of keys. And presumably there's a way for the bank to determine if somebody is legitimate possessor of a key if they don't happen to have their key with them. There's got to be a way.
Susan Gomberg, do you have any thoughts on this?
I guess it seems to me the worry is that some Shutesbury senior would take whatever is written and somehow be taken advantage of by what is put out by this document. Is there a way just to, you know, do blanket? Would someone go ahead and be be careless, and as you say, if they have people going in and out of their house, be taken advantage of, and it's because they read something we put out. I don't know. I guess I feel that there's a way to put this information out, and people could take what they want of it without us worrying too much about them being taken advantage of, which is a concern.
Well,
Unless
I
I'm just
think
mishearing.
the only
But
thing that is, I mean, you know, the healthcare proxy and all these other things are not anything that a random person can do anything with. The only thing would be the passwords, right?
So maybe not include that, and it would be just not put it there, and somebody would have to think of that on their own and do whatever they chose to do. Which I think was brought up at the beginning of the discussion. You know, do they need to be in there? And I guess I'm saying maybe not.
Okay, so is there a way to, if we don't use this last line, is there a way to include something in the power of attorney piece that can say this person should have access to your passwords?
Maybe we could say at the bottom, any other pertinent information that will be helpful to your significant person. I mean,
That sounds good. Because not everybody's, I mean, some of these people that we're talking about won't have a whole bunch of passwords.
Right.
And then others will have lots.
So any other significant information, and then there can be a parenthesis passwords.
I think we're trying not to use that word.
Trying to use it at all. Okay.
Right, Susan Gomberg? I think that's what you were suggesting.
I think so, because as just mentioned, some people have a lot, some people have none or one. I guess maybe just not include it, or in a parenthesis you may have, you know, other information, passwords, question mark.
Or, okay, so far we have any other significant information that
May be helpful that your what are we calling them? Your emergency contact may need.
okay, so emergency contact is different from power of attorney.
Yeah.
Well, right, but okay, but you don't have to have a power of attorney for your person to access your stuff.
But the power of attorney person is the one who can do transactions, financial transactions. You have to have power of attorney to do that.
Not if they're a co-owner on your bank account.
Well, that's another whole thing then.
Right. That's right. You know, because, you know, you can, you know what I mean? You don't have to be, you have to be in a certain state for power of attorney to take place.
Right.
And if you are not in that state, but you can't do your things, then, you know, you have someone who is on your accounts, et cetera, who can do them for you.
Okay, so any other significant information that may help your caregiver, agent,
I think
Your-
emergency contact is a good
emergency
choice.
contact? Okay.
Right, because you can have an emergency contact and someone else is the power of attorney.
I'm writing. So any other significant information that may help your emergency contact act for you?
Act
Help
on your behalf.
act on your behalf. Okay.
That's, you know, Janice, do you have anything on this
Well, that what I'm writing or that I'm going to say?
that you want to say?
Well, one of the things was, for example, if I keeled over tomorrow and our electric bill was due and I paid the electric bill online, I have a password for that.
Yep.
And my husband doesn't know what it is. So the electricity could get shut off until he gets the power of attorney or something.
Unless you give him all the information.
Right,
that he needs.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Right, that's,
And my mother, in fact, sent me some checks in which she had an account that had my name on it with hers, even though she was out in Oregon. And that's how I was able, until everything went through probate and blah, 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 I was able to keep the utilities going and all of that stuff.
right. Right.
But I didn't have power of attorney. I don't think she had the power of attorney.
Right. You know, I did similar things for my mom, and ultimately I needed to use power of attorney, but until, you know, because first she couldn't go places, so I needed to do things for her. But then ultimately we used power of attorney. You know, she reached a place where that was necessary. But before that, I had all her stuff. But she was here, unlike in Joanne's situation and yours, Janice. But I think the general statement is helpful.
Okay. Um, do you think we should pass this by a lawyer? I mean, the whole thing originated from this wonderful article from LifePath, where the person was trying to help her brother who was at a great distance. And these were the things that came up, which is where this originated. And then, you know, as we dug deeper, Janice helped with one of the issues, and I looked up more of the legal things, but it's like going down a rabbit hole. You know, you just, the more you try and do, the more complex it gets, as we're just now discovering with this conversation. I don't think there's anything wrong with this, because I took the descriptions of things from the Massachusetts government site. So it's, you know, pertaining to Massachusetts.
Do we want to say that somewhere?
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so, okay.
And you do have a disclaimer right up at the top. Please see online information and or consult with a lawyer. So I think you've covered yourself there, or us.
Okay. And I do say in the healthcare directive that it's not legally binding in Massachusetts. The other things are pretty much nationwide, I think. The healthcare proxy and the power of attorney.
Actually, the most is pretty, Massachusetts has that and a lot of places don't.
Right.
I'm not saying that you need to differentiate there, but I learned that.
Okay, so
Yeah, the most should not be confused with advanced directives, though.
no, I think that's
very
clear, because it says
Yeah.
the most is for clinical staff.
Right.
And I think it actually has to be signed by a physician.
It does. You do it with your doctor.
Yeah, because I did mine with my doctor.
Yeah.
And I was almost wondering if it needed to say that.
Okay.
But you do say it's like a prescription, which comes from a doctor, right? So,
Yes.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could add that just to
Right.
clarify.
It's the medical order form that one completes with their doctor in a conversation with your physician.
Okay, that is a medical order form that you must complete with your medical professional.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
That's
Because
where you get the form, in fact.
Yep.
At least I did. It's in her office.
Yep.
A blank one.
Yep. And it's the kind, unlike an advanced directive, which is for your healthcare proxy, significant other person, the most goes with you if you go in the ambulance or whatever. You know, that's what it's for. The advance directive is for your family or whatever.
Okay, so should we take out similar to a prescription?
Yes,
Okay,
I think so.
Doesn't seem as though you need it now.
okay. So then it reads, MOLST is a medical order form that you must complete with your medical professional that relays instructions between health professionals about a patient's care.
Yep.
Is that okay?
I wonder if health professional is too vague.
You mean like doctor? Use, you mean, are you suggesting use physician or?
I
Well,
could go down and look to see
people-
what mine says.
some people have a nurse practitioner or a
Right.
physician's assistant as their primary.
Yes,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if a nurse practitioner can sign one of those. Maybe they
I
can.
don't- I don't know. I don't know. I know we did my mom's with the doctor.
Okay, I'll look that up. Okay,
Okay,
Okay.
and then we'll pass around one more version of this. And is that okay? If you think of anything else, then you can note it.
Shall we carry this over to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Is that good with everybody? And then we can review Joanne's final draft at the next meeting altogether?
Sounds good.
Okay, Joanne, is that good with you?
Sure. Some people are nodding. You need to say something because
I'm writing. I'm
Stop
fine
it.
with that.
You.
Janice,
Sounds good to carry
Okay.
it over.
Okay.
I want to thank Joanne for all the time and effort she's
Yeah.
put into this
Well,
document.
I'm still feeling a little queasy because, as I said, the more you get into it, the more complex everything becomes. The other thing that I wonder if we can talk about in connection with this is the Village Neighbors presentation that Susan Millinger brought to our attention, because there may be a link here between what we're trying to do and what they're trying to do.
I would say so.
Yeah. Can we move on to that topic?
Is that your item, Susan?
That's
No,
Susan.
it's not
Oh,
my
okay.
item.
Okay.
I have a separate Village Neighbors item.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm sorry because I meant to double check and see whether it's open to non-members. I'm not sure about that.
I submitted a
Oh, good, you
request and
did.
I received an email back.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Are
Good.
you a member?
No,
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Okay. Did you get the information from Susan M?
yes.
So you didn't get it from Village Neighbors?
Oh, actually, no, I received it from Susan Millinger, and though the COA received an announcement
Okay.
from Village.
Oh,
Neighbors.
good.
Oh, good. Yeah. Because I was thinking with what they're trying to do, which covers a lot of topics, and I personally don't know how they're going to get through all these topics in an hour.
Yeah.
Because each one, again, becomes more and more complex as you talk about them. But I'm wondering if we can partner with Village Neighbors with this how-to. It's different from what they're trying to do, but it's also very related.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Well, let's see what we learn when we go.
Okay.
Right? And that takes place before our next meeting, right?
Right.
So that'll be helpful.
so who's all is going to that so far?
I'm planning to go, but I haven't registered yet.
I'm planning also,
Okay.
but I haven't registered. Yeah.
Okay.
So Linda's registered.
Okay.
Susan Gomberg, are you okay here? Okay,
I'm fine.
okay.
Janice, I'm sorry, this is just a side note. It's not clear to me whether you're still taking minutes or not.
I'm still taking them.
Okay, I took over when I got in.
Oh, I didn't, well, you asked if you should, and we were still
I
on the
thought
topic.
I said, I'm taking over now. I'll take over. now.
Well, then I can stop.
Yes, why don't you stop and then you can ship them to me and I can get the, what you've got and add it to what I have.
Okay.
I mean, unless you terribly want to take minutes, I was assuming I would take over when I
Well-
got here.
Well, I figured we were so close to getting toward the end of our meeting anyway. I thought I would just keep going.
Oh, you think we're close to the end of our meeting?
Well, I don't know.
I think we're only halfway there.
Oh, so, okay, well, I can stop at this point then, if you want, and then just send them to you.
Oh, thank you. I would appreciate that.
Okay.
I mean, unless you really want to be secretary of the day, and that would be fine. But I feel as though you do an awful lot. You
Well-
need to be able to sit and listen and contribute.
Okay, so Janice will send Susan M. what she has as of now, and Susan M. will pick it up from here. At the halfway point. Is that okay?
Okay with Janice.
All right.
Okay, moving right along. COVID-19 vaccine, any action steps? Linda has the phone number has been revealed, right?
Yes, yes. So I've been thinking about whether or not there's any action that as a CO that we as a COA need to take. And it seems that with the LifePath phone number, state phone number, the publicity that the state is going to be putting out on a variety of platforms, including television, it seems like the information is getting out to people, and that the concern about folks who do not have internet access is being addressed. And particularly because of what the governor's campaign will include television, which I think most people watch TV. That's my sense of it. I mean, people who don't have, I should say, people who don't necessarily use the internet will have a TV and they'll have a telephone. So I guess one of the questions was whether or not we needed to do anything regarding a mailing and to people who are over 75 and do not have broadband. So, I mean, that's sort of the question at this point. It does seem like information is getting out.
It was also in the newspaper, in the Daily Hampshire Gazette, with the Massachusetts phone number, the 211.
The Board of Health has something coming out in the newsletter.
What?
Yes.
In the Our Town newsletter, which is at the printers,
Okay.
Oh,
Board of Health has notes that, now again, this is online, and we have information at shutesbury.org/pandemic information, but also they mention the LifePath Help voicemail line.
Okay, but there's a state one now,
Yeah,
a 211 number. That becomes the important thing, I think, for people to get. But this is what Linda is saying is being publicized in a lot of different ways.
Yes. And anecdotally, I can tell you that in the past Since the announcement regarding 75 and older folks, the COA has received one phone call.
Oh,
For information about the vaccine. And when I called the person back, their family member had helped them obtain an appointment. And I can also tell you that folks are calling Grace, the town clerk, because that's the phone number that is the first listing when people look up Town of Shutesbury in the phone book. And Grace has all the information to give to people. She also has information available at when she is doing trash bags. So if people ask questions, she's there to give she gives information.
oh, good.
She had been giving information about testing, and now she'll include information about vaccines if if the questions come up. Yeah.
We did just get today, Linda, did you, from Adam Frank,
We're not getting them. Becky must be getting them because the COA isn't getting them.
I guess because I made a direct connection with him, I'm on the list. Well, this
Yes.
is, it's very timely because they, as of Thursday, February 11th. Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yes, that's tomorrow.
53,000 appointments will be opened up at the mass vaccination sites, which are Gillette Stadium, Fenway Park, and Eastfield Mall in Springfield. And I think I told you last time I had or did I tell you, Linda? I don't know. I
Yes.
have a friend who went to the Eastfield Mall site, which you can access again on the internet, but probably also now through the 211 number. And the person said, well, first of all, the online registration is very easy because they give you the dates that appointments are available first. So you don't have to fill out all the stuff and then find out that there are no appointments available. But they said there was easy parking, easy access. Everything was very well managed inside, lots of social distancing, very, very safe. They felt very, very safe going to get their vaccinations at the Eastfield Mall, and they signed them up immediately for the second shot. So that's it. That's in Springfield.
And a code red number.
Oh,
Oh, we were wondering about that.
Should I pick it up?
Yeah,
sure.
Sure.
Huh. It's Becky for the Board of Health. Huh. It's about 75 and older.
Mhm.
Need to make an appointment and have internet access, please go to the pandemic information page on the town website, shutesbury.org. If you prefer to make an appointment by phone, you have two options. The statewide vaccine scheduling resource line is now available by dialing 211. LifePath and Franklin County also offers help with scheduling, as well as with transportation if needed. They may be reached at 413-829-9285. Right now, the vaccine supply is limited, so it can take time to get an appointment. The next group to be prioritized will be people over 65 and people with certain medical conditions. The Board of Health will provide more details when this group becomes eligible. Once again, the phone numbers for vaccination help are statewide, dial 211, in Franklin County, 413-829-9285. Thank you and good night.
Perfect,
Press any key now.
perfect.
Okay, but in this new thing that just came today,
Mhm.
a very important point here.
This is from Adam Frank.
This is from Adam Frank.
Okay.
Like I said, 53,000 appointments will be opened up at these sites tomorrow, spread amongst them. And the new thing is that an individual who accompanies a person age 75 or older to one of these mass vaccination sites is eligible to receive the vaccine at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah, I
The
saw that.
non-75 person has to make a separate appointment using the words individual accompanying someone who is age 75 or older, and can make an appointment at the same time as the 75 plus person and get the vaccine at the same time, which I think is a real incentive, you know.
Yeah.
Now, should I send this thing to Catherine Hilton?
I'm sure she's got it.
the governor announced it today.
Yeah, I saw it either in the newspaper or
Okay.
online today.
This has been out before because this is the first time I saw this.
It just came out
Okay,
today and
Great, great.
today.
Earlier
Okay.
today.
All right, we're
So,
good.
For a little anecdotal, I've been waiting to get it from Valley Medical in Greenfield because I'm a patient, and the word out from them was just wait and we'll contact you.
Yeah.
So friends of mine who've had it bugged me to call them, and I called today to ask for an appointment, and she said, gee, I'm sorry, we're out of vaccine. We hope to have it next week. And the people that get the first notification are people who get text messages. Is that not discriminatory? That is not right for seniors.
No.
Yeah.
Not right.
No.
Yeah, I know. I got the call too, and they said, don't call. And then I found out from another neighbor that her 89-year-old mother got a text message from Valley Medical, and luckily my neighbor was there at the time, and they set up both the first and the second appointments. But you know, I'm in a position where they tried to text me once for something a while ago, and apparently they were using an Android phone, which wouldn't get to me up here in Shutesbury unless the person was using an iPhone. So I didn't get the text until I went down into the valley, you know, to go grocery shopping, and then saw that, oh, there's been a text from Valley Medical. So it's even more complex than that. There is also Bay State. I just got from my daughter, who works at a rehab center across from Bay State Franklin in Greenfield, that Bay State has opened up 2 sites.
Mhm.
One is in Greenfield, but they're out of vaccine already, and the other is in Holyoke.
I
So
think they have a Springfield site too.
do
Because I
they?
had an opportunity to sign up some couple weeks ago, but I said I'm not going to Springfield.
Yeah. So anyway, you know, things are moving, but I hear you, Susan. I'm in the same situation. They can't text me. I have to wait for the phone call. And
Well, I think-
I'm in
yeah.
the Amherst office.
Oh, I'm in Greenfield.
Yeah.
I think they can reach me, so we'll see. But I just think it's so wrong
Mhm.
when you're dealing with seniors to assume that people have text messaging capacity.
Mhm.
Susan Gomberg, did you have something?
Nope, I'm just listening,
Okay.
but thank you.
I know you can't see us, and so we can get like visual cues that someone's going to talk, but
We're nodding.
yeah.
I feel comfortable butting in if I feel I want to say something.
Okay,
But
good.
thank you for checking.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, the code red just came through, so that's good.
Yes.
I was-
We don't need to take any action steps. Is that
Right,
the
we don't need
conclusion
to
I
take
hear
any
us drawing?
I'm of a mind that the code red settles me because I knew the Board of Health was contemplating that, and I'm grateful that Becky made such a clear announcement.
What worries me is that I was listening to it and then I realized I could put it on speakerphone, so hopefully you could hear it.
Yeah, we
But
did.
I wasn't taking anything down. I wasn't writing notes, and it's not recorded on my phone. If I hadn't picked up the phone, there would have been a long message there that I could have listened to several times, but I picked it up. So there's a
Well,
little,
if you want to call the state, it's 211. I
Well,
got that.
yeah, and I'm told to wait to either hear from Valley Medical in Amherst or Cooley Dickinson Hospital.
Yeah,
So I'm one of these people who's supposed to wait,
yeah.
and I'm not 75 and over, and I have to wait. I'm in the
Right.
2B.
You're in the next slot.
Yeah, it's the 2B group.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's try and finish our two last topics. Linda's going to tell us about the open meeting law.
Okay, so this just came up in conversation with Joanne, just to give us a refresher about email communication, and what we need to do is understand what deliberation is, and that deliberation is not to occur outside of an open meeting. So I'm going to read some things, so that's why I'm looking up at my other monitor. So deliberation is oral or written communication through any medium, including email, between or among a quorum of a public body on any business within its jurisdiction. So sending out meeting agendas, scheduling, procedure information, reports or documents is helpful, and that can be done by email. That's not a problem. They don't constitute deliberation unless, provided that nobody expresses an opinion on matters within the body's jurisdiction to a quorum. And so deliberation must involve a quorum, and which is a majority of the body. So in our case, right now, it's 3. And so when, for example, if Joanne sent out her document and asks for feedback, if we're replying to all, then that is a breach of open meeting law, because more than a quorum is getting, one of our thoughts on a document. And anything like if I sent something to Joanne and then Joanne sends it on to Susan Gomberg, that is a violation of open meeting law, because it's a quorum and we're doing a linear violation of quorum. Do you see what I mean? It's a train. And so that's just some general and specific information about why it's better if we're reviewing a document like the one that Joanne is working on, which is, that we do that in our meeting together. We can decide on things like a town announcement, like Susan Gomberg and I worked on the town announcement for the foot clinic. We can, do things like that as 2 people. But, so hopefully that provides some clarity on email.
Which is why I was told some time ago that to ask people, and everybody has learned that, to reply if they have corrections to the minutes, to reply just to me.
Yes.
Okay. All okay?
All okay.
Thank you.
And Susan M., you have an unanticipated topic?
Yes, I do. I got a call this week, a couple of days ago, from Nancy Spittle, who to tell me that the Age and Dementia Friendly Communities Initiative has gotten its act together, in that it's realized that to be effective for this area, it needs to band communities together. And currently the attempt is to get as many of the small towns as possible in the North Quabbin and Franklin County area to sign in on, to be willing to act as a big group in order to get grants that Nancy Spittle thinks would be helpful to get. And Nancy, what they're doing now is asking town council select boards if they can have 15 minutes for Noor to make a presentation about the project. And all he's asking for is a letter of support. Okay, so Nancy called me because I'm both a member of Village Neighbors and COA. But I thought that before I say do this from COA, I need to know that it's okay with you.
Can you, I somehow, can you say it again, Susan, because.
Sure, you know that Joanne reported to us that the Age Friendly Community Project now become age
Yes.
friendly and dementia friendly. Okay. And
Yeah,
everybody,
got
the
that
three
part.
of us
Yeah.
who've been to their workshops have all reported that what they talk about is meant for cities and large towns, not meant for us. So
Yeah.
LifePath has decided that the way for us to make a meaningful grant request is to come together as a large body of small towns. And they're hoping for as many small towns in the North Quabbin, Franklin County area as possible will sign in on this. Okay. So at this point in time, what they want to do is make a brief presentation to the select board to ask the select board if they would be willing to issue a letter of support. Just a letter of support, no commitment, as far as I understand it.
A letter of support
For
what?
this big group of towns working together to apply for grants for age-friendly, dementia-friendly communities.
Okay.
And I presumably have
Mhm.
projects which would make sense to ask for grants for.
Well, then we need to have something in writing.
Mhm.
From whom? I got something in writing about what I was supposed to ask for from Nancy Spittle. Do you want something from LifePath, from Noor?
Something from LifePath, because that's
Yes.
what it's coming out of LifePath.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where Noor is, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah. I mean, that's, it's not about, the messenger, Susan. It's about, having something formal
I agree.
to
I
respond
agree.
to.
That makes sense to me.
And are the
Yeah.
projects they're thinking of projects from the former people that ran the programs that didn't seem to pertain out here, or would they be new grants and programs?
They would be programs that met our needs. What I'm not sure about is whether they are, could an individual town or a couple of towns get together and have a grant, a project, or would it be so that could a number of towns in this larger community have individual town goals or group goals? I do not know the answer to that. That's what Nancy Spittle made it sound like, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, so is she coming from a LifePath perspective or from a Village Neighbors perspective or from a COA perspective?
Well, she's COA and Village Neighbors.
Right.
So she would like, I think, Okay, my impression from going to the workshop is they want to work with as many organizations as they can. So I think they would be happy to work with Village Neighbors. And Village Neighbors likes the idea of having some grant money. And one thing Village Neighbors talked about, has talked about, is getting a grant to have a van,
Mhm.
which would be quite useful,
Yeah,
but also complex. So a grant would be certainly useful for that purpose. Nancy Spittle was talking about what seemed to be a Wendell idea of having a one of those sort of structures on the green where people could gather outside. That seemed just town-based or Village Neighbors based in one town. So you,
yeah, a van would be a great asset. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, even from the MedRide program that, you know, where people are using their individual cars, there's expenses with a van, and there's also liability that you
Yep.
have to take
Yep.
into account. And
Yep.
but it would be a wonderful asset, but not to be used solely by Village Neighbors.
Last spring, this is Janice speaking, when Nancy Spittle came to us, she was talking about a wheelchair accessible van that could be shared by the towns.
Mhm. Yeah. And that would be interesting as well, because the MedRide program, when that gets back on again, hopefully at some point, can't take people who are not ambulatory.
Right.
So, you know, something with wheelchair accessibility would be
Right, but
good. But
something, a van of that nature has to be managed by a professional hired person. It can't be a volunteer.
right.
This is definitely a big project, and I didn't mean for us to talk about the possibility of a van.
No,
Just a van to me is very attractive, but also
well,
too
it's
much for one town to manage.
It's
one
also
little town.
talking about what we might do, things that we might do together, you know.
Yes.
I mean, just trying to get an idea of what would be an advantage to joining a group. I think we need a statement from LifePath.
That
Yeah.
would explain that, yes.
Yeah. So I guess we'll wait and see what comes forward from LifePath about this.
Which would mean next meeting. I mean, we
Yeah.
couldn't do it before next meeting.
Right. So we'll wait and see.
Do we need to nudge Nancy Spittle to nudge LifePath to?
No, I think I'm going to go directly to Noor.
I don't know who Noor is.
Well, he's okay. He wasn't in charge when you went to the first
Okay,
workshop.
right, this is the new guy.
He's the new guy in charge, and he's the one doing the presentation. He's the one that's running the project. So I think that I would be best to go right to him and ask for a description of the project. Do you agree?
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
if you're
because-
willing, Susan,
Yeah.
Sorry?
if you're willing.
Yeah, I'm willing. I'm not thrilled about it, but
I
I'm
mean, we can
willing.
wait. We can wait and see. We can wait for them to take the initiative.
Well,
I don't have a problem with that because, you know, I mean, that's, if LifePath is seeking letters of support and wanting to communicate with select boards, then that's, you know, he would be reaching out. So
yes, and you know, I'm not really sure how official what I got from Nancy Spittle is in terms of what her relationship with LifePath and Noor is in involving and asking me to do this. But my sense is that Noor thinks it would be easier to approach, or LifePath thinks it'd be easier to approach select boards through a local person.
Right, well, that's all great, except that you need
Better information.
yes.
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 Yes, I agree. I agree. That's what I'm, okay.
Or we need, so that we can support you, or however it's going to go forward, whether we write a letter to the select board or we go to a select board meeting. I think we have to be sold that
Yes,
it's worthwhile,
yes. I agree.
because thus far,
We haven't been.
that's just my 2 cents.
No, I think that those are good 2 cents. So is that acceptable with everybody?
I'm not sure where we've left off. If you're going to contact Nor,
gonna
or we're waiting for them, we're passively waiting to see if they get around to contacting you.
Well,
Or,
I feel I think they've contacted me,
Yes.
through Nancy Spittle.
Worry.
So
what-
that's why I think that that we're not going to hear any more. Unless so
Exactly.
I need to go directly to Nor and ask him.
Okay,
That's what I meant by they need to be nudged.
Yes, something needs to happen. Yes.
Are we good?
I think so. With that, we have completed the agenda, unless anybody has anything to add.
The only thing I can think of is that the first time and only time I met Nancy Spittle was when she and someone else came to the meeting in the town hall talking about village neighbors, and either there or afterwards, totally off topic, but just seems to me she likes to try to get towns to work together. Remember getting, a town newsletter with everyone's town in it at the same time? And this just seems more of the same, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, but that's the only thought I have on the subject, that she seems to like to gather towns together. That's all I have.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, well, with that, shall we close the meeting?
Yes, and our next meeting will be on March 10th.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 6:36 p.m.
second,
Oh,
Bernhard seconds.
Okay. Everybody, roll call vote. Scott, aye.
Schaumburg, aye.
Gray eye.
Illinger, aye.
Bernhard, aye.
Hey, thanks, everybody. Good
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks
warm.
again. Thank you again, Janice, for taking minutes.
For only part of it. I'll
Well,
send you what I've got.
okay, that would be great.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.